Hey everyone, it's Augustus. I wanted to talk about a couple things today. And when I say a couple, like just one or two things. Firstly, I wanted to explain that I decided to switch back to my webcam because I tried using my phone yesterday and my hand was just shaking too much and I couldn't seem to really hold the phone still. And then when I tried to use YouTube Stabilize, uh, it only really made it worse. So, I really apologize for the previous video before this one, and that's why I switched back to using my webcam. I know it's not the greatest quality. It's not probably true high definition, but I mean, at least it's not a lot crappier than what it could be. Um, that's first thing, and the second thing is I wanted to sort of explain why I rant so much. I mean, I know no one really cares, and and I understand that, and it's not that anyone's done anything wrong. It's just that most of the time, a good majority of the time, in fact, I don't tend to agree with what people say. Now, that doesn't mean that the video responses and that the comments and that I don't appreciate them, because I do. I really do appreciate the comments and the video responses that are left on my YouTube channel and on my videos, and I really appreciate things like that. And it's just most of the time when I talk about things or I rant, and it's because I don't necessarily agree with everything that goes on in the world and that goes on around me. But I mean, there are some things I agree with, but at the same time, there are other things that I don't. And I mean, I could sit here all day and list specifics, but if I did that, then I'd be here all night, and this video would be just entirely too long. So what I wanted to really alliterate on is the fact that because I'm ranting, I know people don't really appreciate it, and I know it seems like I'm just bashing them, but it's not that I'm bashing them because I hate them or I dislike them. It's just I'm frustrated at the fact that, I want change, but change doesn't happen because of the fact that I want it. It happens because of the fact that they want it. And I know it's selfish, and it's probably more greedy of me to say that I would want change for myself, but in a way I'm looking out for myself because I have no brothers, I have no sisters, I'm an only child. And some people say, oh well, you're just a selfish American. Well, okay, you know what? That that could be said for anyone in any country that's an only child. That label can be put on anyone. So I'm not gonna, get in an argument about that. If people want to think that, then okay, that's fine. You know, but regardless, when you're an only child, you don't tend to think about the outcome of people, you know, having brothers or sisters, and it's like when you have someone there to look out for you, you don't necessarily have your guard up all the time. I mean, if you do, then you must have really a lot of enemies. I mean, of course, in my case, I don't have anyone to really look out for me, and sure, the statement might be true. Your family can't always be there to protect you, but so you have to protect yourself. But that goes without saying. I mean, when they are there, of course your family's going to protect you and they're going to stand up for you. And I really feel that, people like me are at a disadvantage. because they don't have brothers or sisters, or they don't have family, or that really want to stand up for them. My family used to, but anymore now, it's like they have their own lives, and it's fine. I won't really go into too much detail about it, but I mean, things change, things happen, and it's really made my outlook on life really difficult because of what I believe. Everyone tries to impress their opinions and their beliefs onto me, and so I'm stuck with having to listen to it when some things I don't believe, while other things I do. So it is a bit hypocritical, and it makes me look like a hypocrite, even though I know for a fact that I'm not really a hypocrite, because I'm not agreeing entirely with everything at 100%, but it's like a 50-50 or a 50-60, if you want to say 110%. But even then, the 60% is what I don't agree with. The other 50%, might be their opinion that they're trying to press on me. And I'm not saying it's necessarily bad, and I'm not saying that I don't respect people's opinions, but I just think that, everyone has a right to their own opinion, and when they have to take care of themselves because they don't have anyone else to take care of them or watch out for them, regardless of whether their family can be there or not, or their friends, or their loved ones, or whoever, the end result is, you have to go by your beliefs, and whatever they may be, and protect yourself, because you don't know you don't you don't know what other people are capable of. I mean, it's like in some of my other videos, I've wanted to say, people are like, they'll smile to your face, but they'll put a knife in your back, and they won't even think twice about it. And when you don't have someone there with you saying, hey, look out, that person is going to just use you, or take advantage of you, or, you know, I mean, a good example of that would be like having a boss that wants you to work long hours, but then you have a coworker that knows that your boss is just using you to, so, the other workers can get off early and making you work late all the time. I mean, that really takes advantage of you. I mean, especially if you're an only child, or and you don't have brothers or sisters to watch your kids, and you have a family too. I mean, it doesn't really help. I mean, when you're in those kinds of situations. Now, I can't relate to that because I don't have any experience in that, but I mean, I've had friends in the past that do, and it's really difficult because, well, because I can't relate to it, but it, it's like the way I can relate is people expect so much out of me, but yet it's not what I want to do. And I don't appreciate, I mean, I know I have things I have to do, and when they start expecting too much out of me, it's really difficult. So that's why I rant, because I don't really understand, why people expect so much out of me. And most of the time I feel like they take advantage of me, and they only want to press their opinions on me, and I just, for the most part, I don't really agree with what they say or what they do. And I mean, some of it's good that they do, that they do bring to my attention, but there are just times when I don't want to. I don't want to sit there and nod and smile and agree with them to disagree, because to agree but to disagree is like, you're just being a puppet. And for people to say, oh well, it's not right for you to rant, but yet, you only agree with half of it, but you don't agree with all of it. It's like, I might agree with some points, but that doesn't mean I have to agree with all of it. So I think for the most part, you believe what you want to believe and you make what you make of it for the most part, but in the end you have to protect yourself. You you can't just rely on others all the time. And in my case, I don't really have that option. I have to rely on others because of my circumstance. And it's like my last video when I posted the fact that I'm tired of being told no all the time. That's part of my circumstance. I get told no all the time, and people wonder why I rant and why I complain so much. It's because people are always telling me no, and they're always keeping me from doing what I want to do or need to do. Both wants and needs. And they think that I can't distinguish the difference between the two, and that's not the case. That's not true. I can distinguish the difference between the two. And when people sit there and they argue with me constantly, or they interrupt me, or they manipulate me, and they try to control the conversation, or they try to control what I say, or change my words around, or put words in my mouth, or make it sound like I've said something that I didn't say. That's why I get angry. That's why I rant. That's why I blow up half the time, and I yell at people, and they wonder why I cuss them out and why I get so angry. Because they're not using these. They're not listening. It's just going in one ear and out the other. And I just can't handle that. I can't stand that. And to think that there are people like that in this world and that there is so much ignorance, it really upsets me. And that is why I rant. Because I get tired of the ignorance. And I'm sorry if it really upsets everyone, but America is not the only country in the world that is ignorant. There are other countries and other places on Earth that are much more ignorant than us. They just don't show it as much. So, I apologize if that offends anyone, but that is the truth. And if you don't want to acknowledge it, don't. I don't care either way. I mean, it really doesn't matter to me, but I just want to point that out because most of the people in the world, they refuse to look at it that way, and that's fine, But at any rate, I want to thank, everyone for, taking the time to watch my videos. And I mean, no matter how crappy they may seem, eventually someday I'll get a better camera and I'll better myself. But until people stop telling me no, I don't see that being possible. So, I mean, I would encourage people to tell your friends, tell your family, please subscribe, please like, favorite this video. And I know I've said a lot of negative things, but, I've said them because they're my opinions and they are my thoughts. And if I didn't really think and feel this way, yeah, I said think and feel because I am human. then I wouldn't even be posting these videos. I wouldn't even be saying the things that I'm saying. So, for that, I thank you for at least taking the time to watch my videos. And, the more my videos get spread around, the better, Maybe it might come across a little harsh, and it might even come across being rude, and I apologize for that, but those are my thoughts, those are my opinions, and those are my feelings. And some people might say that I'm oppressing my opinions on them, but that's a two-way street. People do it to me too. So I'm sorry if you feel that way, but at times I feel the same way. So I think that's a mutual agreement on both our parts. So that's all I'm gonna say. And thank you again for watching my videos.